about unmet expectations in marriage. Why do we have so many of them? And what can we do about it? Hi, my name is Aminata Coote, founder of the Hebrews12endurance.com website. And today we want to talk a little bit about unmet expectations in our marriages and what we can do to deal with it. If we're truly honest, we'll admit that every one of us goes into marriage expecting something. Maybe we go in expecting love and marriage. Maybe we go in thinking that this man or this woman is going to meet every single one of our desires and all of our needs. Maybe we got married for a financial reason or because we wanted someone to help us raise our kids. We choose to get married because we're expecting something from this person that we've chosen to partner with for the rest of our lives. But unfortunately for us, so many of these marriages that started off with a fairy tale wedding, they end in divorce. They end with a couple that don't speak to each other. They end up with people who are living in the same house like they're just roommates. What's up with that? True confession. I love romantic movies. I love romance novels. I love these, the happily ever after kind of story. And when I first started dating, I kind of expected my guy to be like, Prince Charming or something. I thought he would come in and he would sweep me off my feet and we would dance into the sunset and we would live happily ever after. But it didn't happen, okay? When I first got married, I had all these expectations of my husband. I thought that I could just want something and he would know. I didn't have to tell him what I needed. I thought he would just be so in tune with what I wanted that he'd be able to figure it out. I thought that everything that I ever, read about in books or saw in movies, that I'd automatically have that. But it wasn't really like that. But now I'm learning that a lot of the things that I saw in movies and that I read in books, they're just that. It's just fiction. And it's wonderful for you to read them, and it's an awesome way for me to go and, clear my head or get an escape. But life isn't like that. I mean, marriage is hard and it takes a lot of effort from both persons. Both persons have to go in there being willing to put in the hard work, because guess what? If one of you goes in thinking it's going to be a cakewalk, you're in for a great disappointment. I think that's one of the reasons why so many persons are divorcing today. I think we go into marriage and we go in there thinking that it's going to be easy. I mean, it starts with a honeymoon, right? So what could be hard? It should be beautiful and everything should be perfect. The truth of the matter is that both husbands and wives go into marriage expecting something. And in a lot of cases, they're expecting different things. So what happens in a marriage is that the husband goes in thinking that he's going to get a wife and she's going to be pretty all the time and she's going to be sexy and all dressed up and her hair's going to always be done. He's going to come home and his house is going to be neat, dinner's going to be cooked, and there's going to be sex every night. The woman goes into marriage and maybe she's thinking that she's going to have somebody that she can talk to all the time, that she'll always have a friend that she can lean on. She's thinking, oh, my husband is going to be the person who fixes everything around the house. He's going to help me with all these things that I couldn't do by myself. And maybe some of them go into marriage thinking that, oh, my husband is going to be there. He's going to help me financially when I fall short. Or maybe we think that as long as we're married to this other person, that everything that we felt about ourselves that was wrong, that this person would fix it. But it doesn't work that way. In most cases, the two persons are going into the marriage and they're expecting almost the exact opposite of what the other person wants. And the result of that is going to be discord. And that's why sometimes we have fights. That's why sometimes we have disagreement. And that is why a lot of the times our expectations are not met, because what we expect, we're not going to actually meet that up. Some of the things that we expect when we get married is, as women, we expect that our husbands, they will know exactly what it is that we're thinking. I mean, we don't need to tell you what's going through our head. I don't need to tell you what my needs are. You ought to be able to just look at me and know, because guess what? We should be in tune and our hearts should be all connected and whatever. Yeah, we think that. But it doesn't really happen like that. Marriage is hard work. I mean, both persons have to go in there willing to put in a lot of effort, because if both persons are not doing it, then the marriage is going to fail. And I think that's why so many marriages end in divorce, because both persons go in and they're expecting this particular thing from their partner, and some of the times they don't even tell their partner what they're expecting from them, and then we get disappointed when things don't work out as we expected them to. One of the best ways I've found in learning to deal with the expectations in my own marriage is to try to figure out what it is that God actually intended. When I try to look at marriage through God's eyes instead of my own, I see something different. In God's eyes, I don't see Prince Charming or Heathcliff or Romeo. I don't see any of that. I see a man who is a provider for his family. I see somebody who has a relationship with his creator. I see somebody who is willing to leave his parents and cleave to me, his wife. Because in God's eyes, marriage looks a little bit different than it looks in the eyes of the world. The world tells us as women that we need to be independent and that we need to stand up for ourselves, but the Bible tells me that I need to submit to my husband and I need to be obedient to him. I mean, what's up with that? If you're wondering how to meet unmet expectations in your marriage, the best way is to study the Bible. Look at what God expected. Try and figure out what it is that God expects for you to do as a wife. What is it that God expects for you to do as a husband? And together, the two of you start working towards this vision that God had for the perfect relationship on earth. Don't think that because your husband is not doing the things that God asked him to do, or if you're a man, if your wife is not doing the thing that God has asked her to do, don't think that it excuses you from doing your part. No, each of us has our own roles to play. So as a wife, I know that my role is to be a helpmeet to my husband. I'm there to help him, to aid him, to support him in his decisions. It doesn't mean that I put him above God. No, it doesn't mean that. It means that I respect my husband in his role as head of the household. So now it's your turn. Let me know in the comments below the part of the expectations of marriage that you struggle most with. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you have not already, please subscribe to the channel and be sure to hit the bell so that you can know when I post new stuff. Until next time, this is Ami and I'm encouraging you to know God, know yourself, run your race. Bye!